Yo soy una hija del Inti Sol, de la Pachamama y del Inti Sol. Yo soy hermana del pueblo Coya, del Inti hermano y de la Aymara, de la Aymara, la Aymara. Yo misma me guío a la libertad. El Aymara, la Aymara, un indio me guía a la libertad. José Gabriel, el cóndor canqui, el gran Tupaki, es Tupac Amaro, el gran Tupac, que son mis hermanos cordilleranos.
In the quiet Boston suburb of Canton, Massachusetts, what began as a tragic accident evolved into one of the most controversial criminal cases in recent memory. At the heart of it was Karen Reed, a finance professor and former equity analyst, accused of killing her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, in a way that shocked the city and divided it. On the snowy night of January 29, 2022, John O'Keefe was found unresponsive outside a colleague's house on Fairview Road. He was lying in the snow, barely visible, with injuries consistent with being hit by a vehicle. He died shortly after. Karen Reed, his girlfriend at the time, was soon arrested and charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter while operating under the influence, and leaving the scene of an accident. The prosecution claimed she had dropped him off at a party and, either intentionally or while drunk, backed over him with her SUV. But that was just the beginning. From the start, Reed's defense attorney, Alan Jackson, argued that she was being framed, not just by accident, but by a network of police officers, investigators, and local officials trying to cover up what really happened inside that house. They claimed that O'Keefe had been beaten inside the house and then dumped outside, and that Karen was being made a scapegoat. Key pieces of evidence became battlegrounds. Text messages allegedly sent by Karen after the incident. "Did I hit him?" Were seen as confessions by some, cries of confusion by others. O'Keefe's injuries, including a black eye and cuts on his arm, didn't perfectly match a simple hit-and-run. Investigators' conduct was questioned, including possible destruction of surveillance footage and a delay in examining the scene. The public began to divide. Some believed Karen was guilty, while others believed she was the victim of a deep conspiracy within Boston law enforcement. Karen Reed's trial began in April 2024 and quickly became a media spectacle. There were tears, shouting matches in court, and hundreds of protesters rallying outside the courthouse, many holding signs saying, "Free Karen Reed," and "Justice for John." The defense grilled officers and forensic experts, raising serious questions about their methods and motives. Meanwhile, the prosecution painted Reed as an angry, jealous girlfriend who had been drinking heavily the night of the incident. What made the case even more complex was the deep personal history involved. John O'Keefe had been raising his niece and nephew after their parents died, and he was described as a model officer by colleagues. The verdict, not guilty, but not innocent? After weeks of testimony, the jury returned a mixed verdict on June 18, 2025. Not guilty of second-degree murder, not guilty of manslaughter, guilty of operating under the influence, OUI. Guilty of leaving the scene of personal injury. Karen Reed wept silently as the verdict was read. Though she was cleared of the most serious charges, the two lesser convictions still carried the possibility of jail time. Supporters were both relieved and furious. To many, this was a partial win, but also an acknowledgement that the full truth may never be known. The Reed-O'Keefe case left Canton and the wider Boston area deeply shaken. It exposed tensions between civilians and law enforcement, highlighted gaps in forensic protocols, and showcased how true crime can grip a community when it's laced with emotion, power, and the appearance of secrets. As of now, Karen Reed awaits sentencing for the OUI and hit-and-run convictions. Meanwhile, calls for an independent investigation into the police handling of the case continue. The question still lingers. Was this justice, or just a carefully crafted version of it?
The jury has reached a verdict in the Karen retrial. Let's listen in.
Yo soy una hija de buen sol, de la Pachamama del sol. Yo soy hermana del pueblo.
Mr. Foreman, on docket number 2282CR117001, murder in the second degree, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar guilty or not guilty? So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you? No. Do you agree?
Yes.
Do all of you agree? Thank you. 002, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty?
Not guilty.
Is not guilty or guilty about that charge or any lesser included charge? Thank you. Specifically number 5, operating under the influence of liquor by operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. Correct? Yes. So say you, Mr. Foreman? Yes. So say you all?
Yes.
003, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar leaving the scene after accident resulting in death? Defendant not guilty or guilty? So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you all? Jurors, hearken your verdict as the court records it. You, upon your oath, say that the defendant on 001 is not guilty, on 002 is guilty of operating under the influence of liquor, and 003 not guilty. Thank you.
All right, jurors, everybody please be seated. Jurors, we thank you for your service. We're going to send you back to services. Please, I'd like to come back and talk to you a little bit afterwards. So thank you very much.
All rise. Follow me.